In fact, the most volcanically active place in the solar system is Io.
Have you ever looked up at the night sky and pondered the mysterious worlds that lie far beyond our reach? What if I tell you that there exist planets that defy everything we know about the natural world and existence? From the blazing riddle of wasp 12b to the intriguing zombie planet and the enigmatic wanderers known as rogue planets, the universe harbors a wealth of fascinating secrets. In this episode, we'll uncover most horrible planet in the universe. This is Reveal the Mystery. If you are curious to learn mysteries of the world, space, and beyond, consider subscribing. Scientists are trying to understand a mystery about planets that have been kicked out of their original paths and are now drifting in space with no set course. They think there might be billions of these planets just in our Milky Way galaxy. They've noticed that planets from young star systems, where there's a lot of competition for building materials, are more likely to become these drifting planets. In these young systems, sometimes planets crash into each other or get too close, and that can push one planet away into space. But even older planets can end up drifting away if a passing star or black hole disrupts their orbits. When a planet gets kicked out of its home star system, it has a tough time. Its surface gets extremely cold as minus 270 degrees Celsius, 455 degree F. If the planet has oceans, they freeze into solid ice, and there are no more seasons or day-night cycles. However, a scientist named Professor Manasvi Lingam from the Florida Institute of Technology thinks that life might still exist on these drifting planets. He imagines a rocky planet similar to Earth that can generate heat from its core for a very long time. This heat might be enough to melt the surface ice and create bodies of liquid water, just like we've found beneath the ice in Antarctica on Earth. Similar kinds of life could exist under the ice on these drifting planets. If these planets also have a thick hydrogen atmosphere, life could even thrive on the surface. But right now, the idea of these planets is just a theory, and NASA is working on a way to check if they really exist. They plan to use special spacecraft called extrasolar object interceptors. These spacecraft will be able to travel to these drifting planets or other objects that come close to our solar system, collect samples, and bring them back to Earth. They have technology that lets them travel fast and return within 8 to 10 years. However, scientists aren't only interested in these drifting planets. There are other planets and objects in space that also capture their attention. In the Virgo constellation, about 2,300 light-years away from us, also known as Poltergeist. This planet has puzzled astronomers for a long time because it orbits a pulsar. Pulsars are born when massive stars explode and collapse, making it unlikely for any planets around them to survive. However, against all odds, Poltergeist not only survived, but remained unharmed. Astronomers have discovered that Poltergeist is made up of space debris. After a supernova explosion, pieces from broken celestial bodies were scattered into space and eventually came together to form Poltergeist. Scientists believe the planet should have a solid rocky surface. The star it orbits has a very powerful magnetic field that emits a lot of microwave radiation, and Poltergeist is constantly exposed to this radiation. These conditions would be deadly for most life, but recent research suggests that Poltergeist might have a dense and extensive atmosphere that shields it from harmful X-rays and gamma rays. However, the radiation levels on Poltergeist are still much higher than those on Earth, making it likely that only simple organisms, similar to a resilient bacterium called Deinococcus radiodurans on Earth, could survive there. Beta Pictoris b, another remarkable exoplanet, is located 63 light-years from Earth. It was hidden from scientists for a long time within a thick layer of gas and dust around its young star. The Beta Pictoris star is only about 20 million years old. In 2022, astronomers discovered 30 exocomets in the star's system, similar in size to comets in our solar system. After years of studying it through dust and gas, scientists have finally observed Beta Pictoris b more clearly. Beta Pictoris b is a supergiant planet with a radius 1.65 times that of Jupiter and a mass about 11 times greater. It rotates very fast, completing one rotation in just 8.1 hours, faster than our solar system's gas giant, which takes 10 hours. However, the biggest mystery about this planet is its temperature. It's located at a distance from its star similar to Saturn's distance from the Sun, but its temperature is incredibly high at 1,451 degrees Celsius, 2,644 degrees Fahrenheit. This shouldn't be possible at that distance from its star. One idea is that its enormous mass and dense dust cover might be retaining heat, but this hypothesis still needs confirmation. In the world of really big gas planets, there's one that's even bigger than Jupiter. Astronomers found this planet called AB Aurigae b in 2022 in the Auriga constellation. It's super heavy, 9 times heavier than Jupiter, and a bit wider too. People call it the elephant planet. What's special about it is that it's still forming around a young star that's much brighter than our Sun, about 38 times brighter. It's hanging out way far from its star, much farther than Pluto is from the Sun, and almost 100 times farther than Earth is from the Sun. 1 year on this planet lasts almost 588 Earth years. Usually, according to the usual science rules, a planet this far from its star shouldn't be so big because there's not usually enough stuff out here in space to make a planet this hefty. This hints that AB Aurigae b might have formed in a different way, maybe from bits and pieces of stuff floating in space. Sometimes when there's a young star, the stuff around it cools down and breaks up into pieces that are about the size of planets because of gravity. It's possible that one of these pieces came together to make this giant planet. And it's still growing by collecting gas from its surroundings, which there's still plenty of in this young star system. In terms of how heavy it is, AB Aurigae b is almost as big as a brown dwarf. Now, let's look at another interesting system where there's a big difference in sizes. There's a planet called GJ 3512 b in the Ursa Major constellation, not too far away from Earth, just 30 light years. It's about half the size of Jupiter, and it goes around a small, dim star called a red dwarf. This red dwarf is way smaller and not as bright as the Sun. The red dwarf, GJ 3512, is only about 270 times heavier than the planet, while the Sun is roughly 1050 times heavier than Jupiter. This discovery challenges what scientists used to think about how planets form. They used to believe that only planets the size of Earth or bigger could exist around small stars like this because there's not usually enough stuff like gas and dust for big gas planets. But maybe they couldn't see these big planets before because they're hard to spot when they're close to small stars and not very bright.